Okay, today we continue with our class Tzedakah and Maaser. And we start with Sefer Shmiras Haloshon. And today's topic, father and son. And it says, even in if the quarreler, one of the close relatives, including his own father, he should nevertheless be exceedingly careful not to join the feud. So you can imagine how strict halacha is. So somebody is against your father, and you should stay away. Okay. Even if it appears that one's father is correct in his contention, one should seek to quell the dispute, rather than to strengthen his father's hand against his adversary. Aside from the Mitzvah of making peace between the Jews, one should realize that it is impossible to see things objectively when one of the parties involved is one parent. Strife interprets the phrase, your friend who is like you, your own soul. Or Sefer, I'm sorry, not Sefer interprets, your friend is like you who is your own soul. Wherein 13:7, as a reference to one's father, whom one's love like his own self. Thus, decided between the position of one's father and the adversary is akin to decided between the position of the oneself and one's own adversary. Okay, so let's do this paragraph and let's explain. It's a lot to explain. Very interesting. So one more time. So for those who just join us, so it says, even when there is a quarrel between one person and a person's father, you should not get involved. Okay, why? Because you're going to be biased, as we just saw, but let's do sentence by sentence. Even if it appears that one's father is correct in his contention, one should seek to quell the dispute, rather than strengthen the father's hands against the adversary. So, of course, it's natural reaction for all of us if somebody is against our parents or somebody close to us, right? To get involved, and no matter what. So, like, it's a normal reaction of person. Doesn't matter, like, who is right, who is wrong. He's my father. He's she's my wife. She's close to me, so she's right, no matter what, right? But it's not true, right? It's not. I mean, it's not always true. Even if they're right, try to quiet down things. Right, but when we join some and one of the sides, it's going to bring even more fire to the feud. Right, that's the problem. Aside from the mitzvah of making peace between the Jews, one should realize that it's impossible to see things objectively. Right, so first of all, have a mitzvah to make a peace, and plus, as he said in the beginning, so we're going to be biased no matter what. Right, it's impossible to see things objectively when one party is involved, one's parents. Right, it's obvious. Right, so Sefer interprets the phrase "your friend who is like your own soul," right, as a reference to one's own father. So that's how people are close to their father. Not everybody, but yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. Whom one loves like his own soul. It's very interesting. So meaning that the person is so close to his father, so it's like he feels this pain. It's like it is against himself. Thus, decided between the positions of the one's father and adversaries is akin to decided between position of the oneself and one own's adversary. So as Hagar said, it's impossible. It's impossible because it's like somebody is against you. So its natural reaction is what you're pushing back, right? No matter what. Okay, so that's the thing. So when somebody is against your father, it's like against you. If father instructs the son to assist him in a dispute, his order must not be obeyed. Very interesting, right? For the halacha states, Yorek Deyat 240:15, Shulchan. If father commands his son transgress even a rabbinic decree, his order must be ignored, for both father and his son are obligated to honor the word of Hashem. This is especially true with regard to severe sin of endangering life, engaging in strife. So let's do from the beginning. We're going to explain. If the father instructs the son to assist him in a dispute, right, this order must be not obeyed. So even though we're all obligated to respect our parents, but we and our parents are obligated to respect Hashem and His laws. So if decide between Hashem and your parents, with all due respect, we're going to. I'm not sure somebody send a message. We must take Hashem's side, not parents' side. Okay, so just try to abstain. For the halacha states that if father commands son transgress in a rabbinic decree, so forget about biblical. Not forget. Needless to say, chas v'shol. Needless to say, biblical decree, but even rabbinic decrees, so we don't listen to them. All right, his order must be ignored. In both father and son obligated to honor Hashem. Okay. This is especially true with regard to this severe sin of engaging in strife. So meaning that when parent asks you to do that, meaning that he's angry, and when person is angry, he's not logical. Okay, so we try to quiet down as much as we can. Okay, stop here. Any questions on what we said? Yes, go ahead.
We got 2 questions on the board.
About this topic?
Yeah, I'm reading. I guess just one of them is in relation to this topic.
Okay, so let's
okay. So it says, Shalom Kodorav. I wonder if the same rule applies between husband and wife. If the husband instructs the wife to assist him, should the wife obey?
No. It's a very good question. It's not only about the strife. The strife is like that's why I'd like to explain things, because it's the application is much more broader. So any mitzvah, any rabbinical mitzvah, he said, do it, whatever is it. So she's not allowed to listen to him. You understand? So that's the halacha is very, very, very clear. Unless there is some situation, some exceptional situation, and decision must be made. So it's not clear case, maybe like this, maybe like that. So in this case, yes, she would be obligated to listen to him. But if it's clear case, like straightforward, like something wrong, no, she's not allowed to listen to him. Okay. Anything else? So he said, don't go to the mikveh. So she said, I apologize. I missed the appointment. So usually they have appointments in the mikveh. And sometimes they have issues there that they have to fix. I don't know, like showers or something. So they have less rooms. Right, so sometimes they cannot fix in one day, so it's less appointments. So she said that she thought to herself, yeah, I'm going to make an appointment in the morning for tonight. And guess what? She called and there are no appointments. He said, okay, one day, who cares? Without the mikvah and so on. So it's not allowed to listen to him. and we had a case like this during the corona. So it says. In our mikvah, it says they're trying to protect public. They say if you have any symptoms of corona, if you have fever, you have this, don't come. Please don't come. You're going to get other people sick. You understand? And husband would say, no, go anyway. You understand? So that's or she cannot go, and they closed down the mikvahs for some time. I'm not sure for a long, like it was maybe a few weeks. The government said shut down 100%. Everybody shut down. They did some appointments anyway, but only like few people went in. But the husband went crazy, right? So not allowed to listen to them. Okay. So continue, right? So so we're up to chapter 2, and our topic is next chapter: definition of support of the poor, right? So who is poor, and what do you mean to support, right? Very interesting. And okay, so A, definition of indigent in the past generations. And as we said last time, whenever I said, many of us actually, according to this definition, can get can get tzedakah. So let's see. In early generations, when society were agriculture in nature, and where standard consistent means by which poor were supported, right? So I mean, in agriculture, everybody were living in the villages, and they would have produce, right? So they would support these poor people with produce, right? Besides that, the Torah prescribed gifts to the poor: leket, gleaning, shechicha, forgotten sheaves, peah, corner of the field, and other agricultural gifts, which the Torah obligates farmer to leave for the poor. Most cities established system to take care of the indigent. So before we continue, because he's switching gears too fast. Okay, so let's go back. So Torah prescribes several gifts to the poor. First, even though he does not mention, but we know there is a Maaser Sheni in the third and the sixth year. So you have to give to poor. It's 10% of your produce after you gave 2% to coin and 10% to Leib. So in third and sixth year of 7-year cycle, you give to poor, and plus every year they get leket. So what is the leket? If you have 1 stalk or 2 stalks of grain, they fell. You're not allowed. It's not like you should be good. You should be nice. Leave it to the poor. You're not allowed. It's forbidden for you to pick up. Okay. Right, 1 or 2. If 3, you're allowed to pick up. Shechicha is forgotten sheaf. So meaning you left the field, right, and then you realize, I forgot the sheaf. That's it. You're not allowed to come back. That's it. If it was your plan, it was beginning to rain, and you say, okay, you know what, I'll come back tomorrow. It's not forgotten, right? But if you forgot and then remember, so you're not allowed to come back. So they get the whole sheaf. So that's how the poor people know. And peah. So peah is a corner of the field at the end. So right. So you're not allowed to harvest. So you have to live for poor people. So and you're not allowed to help them. It's very interesting. They have to do it themselves. So when one person helps, he feels like it's his and he gives out. No, Hashem said, no, it's mine. And I'm telling you to give it to them. It's very interesting. So all of these things, right? And the other agricultural gifts, as we just mentioned, which Torah obligates farmers to live for the poor. Okay, most of the city established, right, system take care of the indigent. So, but since then, since we're kicked out from our own land. And when we live in exile, in most of the countries, they did not allow Jews to purchase the land. It's very interesting. Work as rent piece of land or like a field or something, they would allow. Not always, but they would allow. Right? So they were basically, most of the people did not have these agricultural gifts. Right? So they were living like in a city, more like a city life. One such a system was called Kupat Tzedakah fund, and every city had one. This fund was designed as follows. 1 week, selected Gabaim, charity collector, approached the people of the city and collect from every individual a sum of money that had been determined each was able to afford. Generally, this fund was used for the poor people of the town, and each indigent was given enough money for the 14 meals entire week. So it's very interesting, right? It's very, very interesting. So, and that's what we read. That's what I learned in Europe. That's what they used to have, right? That it was everything was organized. And even though the Jewish people were not very rich themselves, but it's like one of the obligation. to support poor people. So all poor people had to sign up, right, to be supported. So basically there are requirements in Shulchan Aruch that they have to live like 30 days in that city, or they had to like move completely, like I don't know, like that he established already in that city. It's not he's moving out. So that person is entitled 14 meals. So of course there's some basic meals, and it's very interesting. So on Shabbos we like it should be 15 meals, right? On Shabbos we have 3 meals, not 2, but minimum requirement is for Shabbos it's 2 meals actually. It's at night and in the morning. So that's how they calculated 14 meals, right? And they assess every person. It's very interesting. So we have to understand it was very sophisticated job, right? To assess how much each family can contribute. Right? It's not like today we have income tax, like income, you have numbers and like right. Not everybody, like many people did not keep any records. So it's very interesting, right? So these Gabayim were going around. So I think on Friday morning or Thursday night they would go around, mostly Friday morning, and they would collect money to give the poor people so they can prepare for Shabbos. Okay. Just a second. It was expected of those who had sufficient means to support themselves for a week, did not take from the fund. So only if somebody could not support themselves, they were allowed to take. So if person can make his end needs, right? So don't take, basically, right? Because everybody have to contribute, and as we said, people were not very rich. This process was repeated every week to help those in need. There was another system which was not established in all of the in all cities, called tamchui. Right, charity plate. Money was collected each and every day from the townspeople by going house to house. Okay. People gave whatever amount they wanted, and this fund provided 2 meals for each poor person. So he would have food for that day. So the first approach is that they would collect money and to give the poor people for 1 week supply, right? At least, and this second approach is for 1 day. I think, like in my mind, the first approach, as we just said, it was more more popular because just give this poor person a break, like give them money, so 7 days or whatever days he can feel secure and not worry about like every day. So today they ate, for example, is second approach tamchui, right? Okay, today we ate, and what about tomorrow? Maybe they're not going to collect tomorrow. So it's a big pressure on these poor people. And this fund was used primarily to help the poor who came from other cities, since the poor living in a town was sustained by Kupat fund. Okay, very interesting. So this is actually, this tamchui approach was actually something extra, right, to support all other people. Like people, I'm not sure why, but it's in many books about all times, people are constantly going from town to town, and tell you the truth, I do not understand many times why would they go. I'm not sure. I don't know. Right? It was not stated like for some clear reason. I understand somebody's traveling for business, somebody is traveling to see his relatives, but sometimes just people just going. I don't know, coming and going. I don't know. However, in the towns that did not establish a tamchui fund, the poor people from the other city would be supported from a kupa fund of that town. Okay, together with what individual supplemented on their own, poor people were able to be sustained. So meaning this these poor people and actually in many cities in Europe, at least that's what I know, right? They had like some kind of like motel or whatever, some not motel. What is it? Some like dormitory where people who could not afford the inn would stay. It's very interesting. And many times the community they were poor on themselves and they could not afford, so they would give them a place to sleep in a shul in the women's section. It's very interesting. In the men's section, you're not allowed to sleep, right, because of the sanctity of the shul. But if you put the curtains, right, put the proper mechitza, so you will be allowed to sleep in the women's section, and that's how the mitzvah of kiddush on Friday night in a synagogue developed, right? So in some shul until this day, it's actually now siddur, right? Until this day they do kiddush in a shul. And of course, the guy trying not to drink. They usually find the child to give this grape juice. Now, nobody does it on wine, on grape juice, and give a child to drink. But if there is no child, I mean, so this person drinks or he gives to somebody else, doesn't matter, right? But this was established because of the poor people, because they would stay in a shul and eat in a shul. Right, so that's Kiddush was for them. Very interesting. Okay, continue. Since this cycle of agriculture gives to the poor would renew itself every year, the rabbis determined that the definition of the poor person is one who does not have enough. Listen to this, to live on for the entire year. So definition of the poor person, and I think maybe many people are poor. Of course, there are exceptions. So if you have a steady job, so there is a difference. So even though you don't have enough money until the next year, me personally, I don't know many people. I mean, in my circles, who can survive 1 year just living on the savings, right? Well, of course, there are such people, but I don't know anybody personally, right? So it's very interesting, right? So since it was on our agricultural basis from one harvest to another, so it's like you would have to be like sustained by this harvest, whatever you collected until the next year, and that's how they calculate it. Furthermore, they established the amount of money one need the entire year to be 200 zuz per person. So 200 zuz is actually the amount of ksuba. So if the bride is virgin, that's what she gets in a ksuba minimum. Okay, 200 zuz. And though the above mentioned system and through the above mentioned system, one was able to receive that amount. Okay, so meaning like partially, whatever, this 200 zuz a year. Okay, consequently, one who did not have 200 zuz could collect the Torah prescribed gifts for the poor, in addition to assistance from the various funds of the cities. Right. So today, for example, it was one lady, right, that she was getting married, and we helped her to get married, Baruch Hashem. And she was not rich. I mean, her parents were, father passed away, mother did not want to do anything to do with her, and he was also like not. I don't know what his status. I don't want to say. So, but so they apply for tzedakah, for charity that does the weddings, right? That does the wedding for people who cannot afford, like basic weddings. So they like basic hall, whatever. I mean, they have, of course, connection. People like they donate for free. Maybe they just pay for cleaning. I don't know. I don't want to say, but still, like, it's very, very commendable of them, right? So it's actually fun that and these people did the whole investigation. I had to sign forms. They interview me like to prove like that she's poor. I mean, I was representing her side, so it's not so simple, I mean, I'm not sure how many people they interview and who had to sign up that she does not have funds, but that's what it is, right? So they say if you don't have 200 zuz, so you would need to so you will be able to collect all of these gifts. Gifts are agriculture gifts and plus in money. Okay. However, one who was capable of earning the limit was not permitted to collect these gifts. If he had the amount of money that was sufficient to enable him to engage in business, so as to earn his livelihood for the year. So meaning if you have a steady job and it's maybe it's even less than 200 zuz, or like you're making your ends meet, so you're not allowed to take, right? It's only for a poor person. The rabbis determined the amount to be 50 zuz. One who did not have 50 zuz, so 1/4 of this, that was capable of working, one who did not have 50 zuz and was capable of working, was permitted to take that amount from tzedakah in order to try to earn the livelihood. So as I said, in olden days, they did not like Jews to own land and did not allow Jews to go to many professions. So we are very limited, like to a trading, right? To buy and sell. So you need some money to start up your business. So this 50 zuz, right, to start up your business. So it's like more like a business loan, I would say. Okay, so that was in olden days, and now we go into nowadays. As time passed by the large society became less agriculture in nature, there were fewer agriculture gifts available given to the poor. And plus, I'm always thinking like even these poor people did not have horses and donkeys, like, and so they would have to carry everything on their back from where they from the field to their house. Of course, they were allowed to sell this and take it and keep the money. Yeah, there is no problem. But still, like it's a big burden just because there is a gift, just because somebody left this sheaf, like a forgotten sheaf. But it's like 20 miles from it, so I'm not sure if it helps me very much. Okay, so just another point. Unfortunately, the number of poor people increased to the point that it became very difficult for the city to maintain their charity fund. Consequently, impoverished people were generally sustained by approaching the general population and collecting whatever amount possible to provide for their needs. So that's actually, I'm not sure when did it start, but that's the system that we have right now. So of course there is like separate organizations and that try to help some poor people who approach them and they investigate this and that, or this poor people. So I mean, it's impossible to help everybody. So we do not have funds. So all of these poor people, they can come to you, then knock at your door, not knock at my door, and ask for tzedakah. So nobody's stopping them. So but in olden days, it was, as we said, for example, in Europe, it was very organized. So it was community responsible for feeding them. Today, we live in an industrial society. Consequently, poor people are not able to collect the agricultural gifts established for them in the Torah, right? So Torah said they give them, okay, but guess what? There is no fields, okay. I mean, there are no Jewish owners. So the rabbis determined that the poor person is one who does not have a basic necessity for an entire year. So I mean, same concept. So as I said, in my mind, like many people qualify for that. Therefore, the rabbis maintain that one who is lacking may either collect sufficient tzedakah until he acquires enough money to be sustained for the entire year, or to collect enough capital to enable him to start a business in order to have a consistent means to support and able to live off his profits. if he's married and has children, that amount would include them as well. So let's try to understand. So he said, so if today, if person does not have enough money to support himself for the entire year, so he actually is allowed to collect, right? Or to collect just to start his business. So that's our goal, and we're going to learn that the best tzedakah, the highest tzedakah is to a poor person, is to make himself sufficient so he can make money. I mean, if you can get them a job, that would be the best. If you can pay for his schooling for training, like technical, some there is like tech schools, whatever, to get him some education, some degrees. So it would be the best investment, so he can sustain himself. Yourself. Continue. Determine. 1 second. Let me see how long is it. Any questions on what we said so far? Because it's a long story.
Rabbi?
Yes, let's go ahead.
There's this condition of having enough money to survive for an entire year. Does it include assets or possessions that the person can sell in order to get money to survive this year?
I think so. Yes. Yeah. I mean, on another, it's like not his apartment. For example, if he has apartment, so he's not obligated to sell his apartment and live on the street and eat, right? Be able to eat. So of course not. So, or he has a car. He has a car from, I don't know, 10 years ago. He needs to go around. Like, it's not like it's a big luxury or something. And if he can do without it, that's one story. But if he has a stocks, right, and or bonds, and he does not want to sell because there is another 3 years to this maturity, so it's not a good reason. You understand that just because he wants to get to be rich, so I'm not obligated to support him. And as we said, since like today's the story is very different. So they approach general populace and they try to ask for money. Many people don't give, or give like a minimum. So I don't know. There's some people to come to my show to get tzedakah, but the shul that I pray, they have a policy. You go to Rabbi and he decides. I'm sure how much he gives. It's his business. But they do not walk around in the shul. They come to Rabbi. They give, I don't know, maybe he gives $5, $10. I have no idea, right? But that's it. Was it worth it to drive from wherever they are to collect these few dollars? I'm not sure. And they try, of course, in the morning to visit as many shuls as possible, right? But I don't know how much do they make every morning. I'm not sure. It's not a lot. Maybe plus whatever they get from somebody else, but it's very tough to live off tzedakah. Very tough. Okay. Any other questions? We continue. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, no questions. Continue. So next section is determining amount of capital. Right. There are a number of ways to determine how much money one needs to earn profits from the one's capital on a consistent basis, right? So some people don't make much, right? So like he works and does not make much. One may place the money in a bank to earn interest, or he may take a sum of money and try to start a business. A person's situation would determine the course one would have to take. One who is not capable of working for whatever valid reason, for example, elderly, disabled, etc., may accumulate enough capital to support himself from the profits and then place the money in a bank or CD and live off the interest. However, one who is capable of working but is lazy and does not want to, is only permitted to receive sum of money that can be used to set up himself in a business that will generate the source of income. One must always keep in mind that every situation is different, and Rav should be consulted to determine an individual particular case. It is for this reason that it is permitted to collect a substantial amount of money for a widowed woman with children, since she is not in a position to work full time, and she has the responsibility of taking care of her children. Okay, so let's do this part again, and we're going to explain. Very interesting. So on one hand, we're trying to help that person, right? And person is trying to be supported without really working, right? Or like in the first case, I'm not sure what is the amount of money you have to have. So it says one may place the money in a bank to earn interest. So in my bank, they give interest 0.0001%. Like it's, I don't know, a few pennies like in a month. That's it. So and maybe you have a million, or I don't know, 2 million, 7 million, maybe yes. There's a different, maybe it's going to enough to survive, but I'm not sure. Okay, so from interest in the bank, I'm not sure. Or he may take a sum of money and try to start business. Okay, so it's also like I'm not sure if tzedakah. So today I'm not sure if tzedakah would lend the money, unless it's from there is a gemach that lends money, but they would take some collateral from community money. I'm not sure if they can give so much money. So it's like a gemach, meaning that all the people, I don't know how many people, one community, they collected money. Let's say they established the gemach of I don't know, like $50,000, $100,000. Let's say right. It's very simple. If 100 families gave $1,000, let's say, right? So you simply have this amount, even maybe more. Somebody gave more, right? And then they can borrow from this fund, but I'm not sure if they would give somebody like to start up his business. I'm not sure. Maybe yes, maybe no. It's too risky. It's too risky to risk the community money. Okay, but okay, that's one of the options at least. So okay, a person's situation would determine the course of the course one would have to take, right? So personal situation, of course. One who is not capable of working for a very valid reason, like elderly, disabled, right? So of course may accumulate enough capital. So meaning they accumulate enough capital that he's allowed to take tzedakah, but I'm not sure if the people would give so much tzedakah, so he can live of the interest. I'm not sure. May accumulate enough capital, so but at least he's allowed to take all of this tzedakah, because right he has to survive. Enough capital to support himself from the profits, and then place the money in a bank or CD and live off the interest. So I'm not sure, as I said, I'm not sure what this might. It must be huge amount in today's day to live from interest or the CD. I think I saw the advertisement, maybe 3%, some mind blowing, 4.5%, 5%. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like if somebody gives you 5%, unbelievable, right? So I'm not sure how much money, if you have to pay rent or food, how much money you need to have to pay this to accumulate enough money, basically, like how much you need to have in the bank. However, one who is capable of working but lazy and does not want to is only permitted to receive the sum of money can be used to set up himself a business that will generate the source of income. But if he's lazy, so I mean, people also see it's our obligation to do investigation. So, for example, I was helping somebody, guiding somebody to do investigation. So we have some in one country, right? Somebody who want to donate money, and there was so many people who wants who needs help. So we had to see whom to give this money, right? And they had to do the investigation. So it's not so simple, right? People, everybody know people lie to get the money. They lie, even though it's not a big amount, but still they have to do investigation. So if me personally, right, if I hear that the person is lazy, he's healthy and he's not working, we're not going to give him. One must always keep in mind. So it's like we're not obligated to give to anybody. Understand? So it's like we're not government. One must always keep in mind that every situation is different, and Rav should be consulted to determine the individual in particular case. Individual's particular case. So I mean, of course, the all cases are different, but this one with the widow that lost her husband, that's absolutely right. Many children, that's pure tzedakah, of course. Doesn't matter how much you're going to give them, it's not going to be enough. Okay. I mean, it's all going to go to the right place, I guess. It is so for this reason permitted to collect substantial amount of money for a widowed woman with children, since she's not in a position to work full time, right? If she has a responsibility of taking care of the children, okay, of course. So next one is that's one. This is very applicable to many people. Steady income. One who has a job where he receives a set income is not permitted to take tzedakah money, period. Right? Because even though you hardly break even this month, but your paycheck is coming, right? So maybe it's going, right? It's enough for you to survive. Not allowed to take tzedakah. So I think it's my personal opinion. Most of the people in this category. Even though this amount, the amount that he does not have enough to live the entire year, so he does not, but he has a steady job. That's what the most important thing. For continuing working, he will receive salary, which will enable him to support himself throughout the year. That's it. That's straightforward. However, if his salary is not enough to live on, then he would be permitted to take amount he needed from tzedakah. For example, if salary is $1,000 a month, $1,000, and he needs $1,200 a month, he would be allowed to take $200 a month from tzedakah. So that's a clear case. So that's the people that we're trying to help. That they're working. They're not making enough money. Right, so the case that we are looking at now is the lady. She has 5 children, and she has to pay. Of course, the school gives her a break, but still, it's a lot of money. Even husband work. Husband in a call. Right, only she's working. So that's our top choice. Okay, they're working, but it's not enough. Okay, so continue. Next one, unexpected expense. Sometimes one is faced with the unexpected expense. For example, children getting married, medical bills, and the tzedakah he received for living expenses or to earn his livelihood is insufficient to generate the money necessary to cover those expenses. So that's very common, right? So these poor people have a cheaper this insurance, right? Medical insurance, and this cheaper insurance, they do not cover many things, right? So when I like long time ago, I had to go to emergency room to a hospital, right? And I had to stay overnight. They did the whole screening and stuff like that. So they sent me a bill. So I did not have insurance with me. So the bill was $15,000 for 1 night. Of course, insurance did not pay, but I was interested, where did this $15,000 came from? And it was very simple. A doctor came to me, so he charged $1,200. And he asked me how am I and stuff like that. Jewish doctor, spoke to me 3.5 minutes, right? And for one band-aid, right, whatever they did, they charge $5 for one band-aid. Of course, it's like it's not realistic, but if you don't have insurance or insurance does not cover all of these things, so they're going to send you a bill, right? So it's very interesting. My insurance paid everything. I had to pay maybe I don't know how much, but like minimum maybe $50 for the whole stay. But it's very interesting. But for band-aid, $5. In such a situation, one would be permitted to take more, right? Meaning these expenses, medical bills, or somebody getting married, right? To take more than what is required for the basic needs from tzedakah in order to help pay these individual expenses. So it's right. The reason is that but usually we try to separate these expenses. So there is a separate organization, as we said before, but they taking care of this, trying to help these people who are getting married. Right. Okay. The reason is that concerning these expenses, the unexpected expenses, he's considered poor and in need. Right. So basically, even though he has enough for a basic living, but not for this, not for these unexpected expenses. This would even apply to one who has a steady income but cannot meet those costs that with what he earns, right? He has a salary, but to make a wedding today, it's very expensive. For example, one may take money from the tzedakah fund to help defray the cost of the making modest wedding. Okay, so modest, again, so it's very, very modest. And we help a few people to make wedding, like very, very, like wedding, other like very modest, like very, cheap, because we bought many things ourselves. We knew what to order. We actually worked as the waiters and stuff like that. Help everybody help, and it was like affordable for these people, right? So if somebody that does not want to be a show off, so it's you can get married if you want to. A rabbi should be consulted to determine whether or not he should borrow the money from gmach, right, instead of taking tzedakah. So gmach, as we said before, this money from the community, right? Meaning that you would be obligated to return, right? Of course, without interest. Of course, we don't charge interest, but it's better than from the bank. So if you borrow from the credit card or whatever, so they charge maybe even 15, 17%, 20%. I don't know how much they charge in the credit card. It's killer, right? Realistically, the issue whether or not he will be able to repay the loan. So that's what Rabbi has to establish, right? And people say, yeah, I want this wedding. I'm going to pay, but he has no means to pay. So we have to remember, if you borrow the money, you must have a plan how to pay. If you don't have a plan how to pay, say Hashem is going to help, you're a thief. Right? Okay. So let me check time quickly. Let me stop here. Any questions on what we said?
Rabbi?
Yes.
We have another question on the board. In regards to this topic, it says, for the Rav, if one has a full-time job, which salary is not enough to live on, is the person obligated to take multiple jobs to avoid receiving tzedakah?
So this person is jumping, I don't know to what chapter, but I'm going to say what Talmud says. I think I don't remember if in the book. I think in this book also. So Talmud says, so person who is allowed to take tzedakah, allowed. So let's say this case of that he's making 1,000, but he needs 1,200. Let's say over this case that the person is talking about, right? So it's not enough. And Talmud says if he's pushing off, right? Of course, I know I have a letter from a rabbi that I'm allowed to take tzedakah, but this week we're going to do so. Okay, this week, 3 days. Okay, so maybe in 3 days I'm going to ask, but not today. And the person who pushes off, maybe take a second job, whatever, and try to survive. So our sage said that he's not going to depart from this world until he will be able, right, he capable of supporting others. That's the promise of our sages of Hashem, like to push him off and not to take from tzedakah, because tzedakah is a burden, right, to the community. Even though it's a big reward for them, this and that, but people not very excited to give tzedakah, like to poor person, especially he comes. Like sometimes I told this guy, like, he comes only once a week. Stop it with again he comes. Like he needs to feed his family. Like but that's a general attitude. So this guy spoke up in my presence, but other people do not speak. That's what they think. Understand? So it's better never to take tzedakah if possible. But if not possible, so that's for example, the second job. If a person has small children, but when he's going to take care or she's going to take care of the children, right? So like maybe you're going to have enough money, but the children going to become gangsters or something. So it's also not good. Okay, but again, if you have no choice, and there is no choice, so you're obligated to take tzedakah and don't let your family suffer. So it's very, very important. Even if you have imunah and bitochon, and it's very great, but they don't, so you have to take tzedakah. But if they're okay to push a little more, so that's what you do, and Hashem is going to make many miracles for you. Beezrat Hashem, big blessings. Okay, good question. What else? Any other questions?
Rabbi?
Yes.
In regards to this question, does that rule still apply to someone that pushes it off because of gava, because of
That's yes. So that's see, that's second part of that discussion is actually why he pushing back. And it's as we said before, the reason behind why we're doing things are very, very important. So if it's because I don't want to be a burden to my community, and I believe that Hashem is going to provide. Okay, of course I'm able to take, right? I'm able to take. So I'm going to take next week. What is the problem with next Wednesday? Until Tuesday I have money. Yeah, until Tuesday I have. So maybe on Wednesday I'm going to take. You understand? And person pushes away. But if person is, as you said, if person is that's because of the arrogance, so it's actually a big curse is awaiting him, right? Because the whole family is going to suffer, right? And we're not allowed to have other people suffer. So you want to fast, like you can fast. Like today's was one of these bigaf, right? One of these 3 fasts that we have after Sukkot, Monday, Thursday, and another Thursday, right? Monday, Thursday, another Monday. So some people fast, some people don't fast. So that person that called me when the fast ends, like, okay, so okay, he's a single guy, right? So he can fast. Right? Yeah, younger fellow, right? But if he would be married, right, and he was trying to be the big hero and make his wife fast, that's absolutely forbidden. You understand? So if you have this spiritual drive, that's very good, but not don't push it on others. So with this gava, with this the prideful person that we're going to say, I'm not going to come like back people. I'm not going to come. So he's a killer. And if he's going to die, right, he's going to be judged as a killer, 100%. He killed himself. Right? Not allowed. What else? So
Thank you, Rabbi.
yeah, you're welcome. We can go to any topic, whatever we have. You can see.
Yes, Rabbi.
Just go ahead.
Shabbat Tov. Rabbi, I want to
questions I have is it possible for a Jew to be able to own a non-kosher business? For example, a non-kosher restaurant. And the example is they don't mix milk and meat together. It's just they sell non-kosher meat to the public. I don't know. And if they're allowed, to what type of people are they allowed to sell to?
So technically, for example, if a person would go like to a place where there are no Jews, some bad neighborhood, let's say, right? And they have this restaurant, and nobody knows that he's a second owner, right? So like he's an investor. Sometimes like there is an investor and a working owner. He's a chef, right? And the restaurant he cooks, right? And another just invested money. So maybe in this case it's not recommended, but I would say would not be prohibited. But if people know that he's a Jew and he's the owner of the restaurant, it's Hilchos Hashem. So and other people say, yeah, it's kosher restaurant. Why would say so? Oh, this Itzik with his big kippah, he actually goes to the restaurant. He goes from the back door, but yeah, for sure it's kosher. The meat of everything's kosher. Otherwise, this big rabbi would not go there. You understand? So that would create Hilchos Hashem, and plus maybe Jews are going to come. So it's got like a stumbling block in front of the blind. Big issue.
One of the things I was thinking about is also how would you know what you just said? How would you know whoever's coming in to visit, I don't know, is Jewish or not?
Yeah, no, but that's how I started. If you go to some neighborhood where no Jews live, okay, maybe they do not know who is the second partner, so that there is no problem then. I mean, it's not recommended, but would be allowed. I would say this. But on the other hand, like there's so many businesses. Why you want to do like so many businesses? Why you want to do something questionable? You understand? So it's not going to be blessing for sure. No blessings on this thing.
That was one of the things that I was going to get to. So if you're going to do this type of business, because I heard some of them, they wanted to do this type of business. If you're going to do this type of business, you just want to be an investor.
I would say invest in something else. I mean, if people would find out, so it could be they start from let's say meat restaurant, and then the chef is going to say, look, meat, let's do chicken parmesan or something, or veal parmesan. What's the problem? You understand? So he would one day it was started like this. You're investor, you're not there, and guess what? You start in your business, start cooking meat and milk together. Very simple. It's like slippery slope. Like if you're in control, maybe it's going to work. But you're trying not to be in control. You're trying to be behind the scenes, right? So that's not going to work so well for you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Rabbi, another question.
Okay.
Here in Florida, there's an invasive species which is iguanas.
Iguanas, okay.
I think you've answered this before, but I can't recall because I've heard it today by somebody saying that you're allowed to kill these animals, but I'm not sure. Are we allowed to kill these animals, iguanas, just because they said, or Torah or no?
So I mean, if they threaten your life or they're in danger, for example, there is some kind of poisonous, so yeah, you would be allowed to kill. But if there is no danger, there is unknown, I would say don't kill them.
Yeah, because what I know, they just eat vegetation. I don't know. Iguanas aren't aggressive, so they just eat like vegetation and stuff like that. So
just shoot them away. I would say don't kill them. No. So again, we're only allowed to kill to save our life or our health. There is some kind of. I had who I had a possum coming to my porch. Yes. Okay. What else?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Okay.
Hello?
Yes. Go ahead.
There's another question that was put on the board before the class started, but may I ask a question in regards to today's topic that I
Yeah, go ahead.
forgot to?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
This is part from the book that we read today that kind of surprised me a lot, and it says when he mentions this issue about lazy people, it says, however, one who is capable of working but is lazy and does not want to is only permitted to receive a sum of money that can be used to set himself up in a business that will generate a source of income. And I found this honestly very surprising. Is this some sort of implying that perhaps Allah is a little bit indulgent with this lazy people, or is this depending on the situation?
Okay, yes. So just it's a very good question. So as I said in my notes, in my comments, I say I would not give this person money, but simply because even if we get some money, tzedakah, it's such a little amount, so we're trying to use it as efficiently as possible. It was a choice between a few families. Right, and one has had five children, all of them in yeshivas and the Jewish kindergarten. It's kosher kindergarten, so it's not I would not give zero to this. Exactly, I would give exactly zero to this lazy person on one hand, but on another hand, this lazy person, he's lazy. He does not want to work for others, but maybe to work for themselves, he would not be lazy. You understand? So when person, even lazy person loves money, he wants to get money, and in order to get money, so he need to work. So maybe if we give him some capital and he can start his own business, of course, as we said, the rabbi must be consulted. We have to talk to the person, ask him some tricky questions, and see how he handles himself. Right? So many people are not too sophisticated. If you ask tricky question, they're going to fail. Very simple. Ask three in a row, and they would give you 7 different answers. Okay, so that's so if you see he's not interested, so just let him be. But Torah, of course, we don't want anybody to die on one hand. On the other hand, we're not responsible for everybody. If he does not want to help himself, so let him be.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Okay, so sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yes, Rabbi. Question I have, it's the topic we're talking about. I remember reading in the Rambam in Hilchos Deos where it says that you're not allowed to. A Torah sage is not befitting a Torah sage to be a burden to society. And then in the commentary over there, it's chapter 5, Halacha 12. Yeah, I think it's there in the commentary. It says that, then it gives another source in Hilchos Matanot Anayim 10:18. It says that you're not allowed to, you're not allowed to constrain yourself just to pursue Torah knowledge if you're going to be a burden to society. Right, and then it mentions that the Torah sages were wood choppers. They had a job, but they did their salutes. So this case, if the person, if they're trying to work, are they not deserving? They're not committing a sin, no, because they're trying to work.
Okay, so that's one of the cases that we discussed today in the book. So person is working, but he's not making enough. Or he has five children, right? Even if you have a good salary, and you have to pay for education, so it's all the kosher food. So it's not such a it's not a lot of money. Maybe you need some support. Maybe from school break, tuition break, something, right? So there is no problem. But what is the connection?
So if a person's lazy, lazy on purpose, you're not allowed to help that type of people.
I mean, he said in the book that you would be allowed, like, I mean, to put him straight. Like, if he wants to start business, and he's going to work in that business, so maybe you're allowed to give him money, right? But what I said, it would be like our last priority to give him money, because there are people who are trying to make a living, and it's simply not enough, or they're not capable. They're elderly. She's a widow. Somebody's disabled. So we had one of the cases with the lady. She had I didn't get what was the story, like very weak heart. So she's disabled. You know, you understand? So even she's I don't know, in her Torah, is a young lady, but she has this. She cannot work. I mean, she work. She does translation from foreign languages, but of course it's not enough, right? So she's allowed to take tzedakah.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. Okay. Daniel, go ahead.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the question goes, Shalom Aleichem, Rabbi. I have two questions. Number one, are we allowed to keep a book of Leib and a small siddur in the glove compartment of our vehicle?
Yeah, there is no problem whatsoever. It's actually to make your car holy. Yes, that's what many people do. Even I also have. I have a book of Tehillim. Just it's like instead of mezuzah, I have Tehillim. Yeah, there is no problem. So the only problem with holy books is when we take them to the bathroom. But even if you take them to the bathroom, if you have double wrappings, there is no problem. So you have, for example, your book of Tehillim or your siddur, you have, let's say, in a plastic bag, right? Plastic bag or whatever bag, and then you put it in your bag, like a backpack or whatever, some pocketbook, like something. There is no problem. You can go to the bathroom. Maybe it's not recommended, but if you're afraid that somebody is going to steal, yeah, there is no problem whatsoever. You can go like this. Okay, so there's no problem whatsoever with the car. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, go ahead. Second question.
And the second question, is it okay to make the bed before morning prayers?
Yes. It's actually a very good question. So it says in Shulchan Aruch that one is not allowed to engage in his own or her own business before person prays. But this is actually to respect or to make for example, if person is going to pray in his bedroom or her bedroom, there is no problem. You're allowed to pray in your bedroom, right? So it would be actually like a respect to the place when you're going to make your bed. Yeah. So it's actually like in honor of the prayer. Okay, what else? You're welcome.
Okay, so the next question goes. Thank you, Rabbi, for the answers. Question, is one allowed to apply clear nail polish on Shabbos?
Clear nail polish. It's not. Just 1 second. Clear nail polish. What is the problem? I would say no, but I'm trying to understand what the problem is. So one of the practical case that came to my mind, women, like at least in olden days, what they would do, how to fix the stockings, right? They start like ripping, so they would put like some nail polish, and it's like it works like a glue, and it's going to stop the rip. I don't know what would they do today, but it was in olden days. Maybe today, I mean, it's still going to apply. But to put a nail polish on the nails, clear nail polish, I would say no, but I do not know why. That's I feel no, but I cannot explain why at this point. But let me think about it. Maybe by the end of the class, I would get the idea. It's not smoothing because nail is smooth enough, even though you smooth, but I don't know. So go ahead. Next question.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
There's no more questions on the board. I mean, someone of our friends is typing still his question.
Very good. Go ahead. If you have one, go ahead.
Okay, so meanwhile, so why is the Psalms 91 that makes part of the Krias Shema amidah incomplete? It only goes up to the part where it says Ki ata Hashem machzik, and the rest of the Psalms 91 is not there. Why is that? I was wondering.
But what is the Shema is Psalm 91 and Psalm 91? Why does it have to be like exactly the same? I don't understand why. Can you explain?
Yeah, because usually, I mean, not always, but usually the Psalms are kind of complete, and the part that is missing on that prayer, in that specific prayer, is, to me, is like very powerful. So I don't know. I was just wondering why is this part not there?
No, the Shema. Shema. It's like usually in Torah there is no like duplicating of the idea usually, and even though you have a different idea, like sounds very very similar, but I would say just always explain there is some intricate details. It's not exactly the same, even though like a similar word, but it's not exactly the same. Why? Because it tried to convey different idea. So what is the point to repeat the Shema again? I would say there's no point. We need to see. I'm not sure where exactly in Gemara they discuss this psalm, or maybe in Medrash Tehillim. I would say they would explain why this verse was said, and right. They would explain better.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Okay, so another question that I have is in regards to the blessing that women make on the Bircas Hashachar when they say to Hashem that thank you, Hashem, for making me according to His will.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if it would be okay for women to have the kavana of thanking Hashem for not having as much as responsibilities as men, because men, I mean, for every single and each and every one responsibility that the men have, it's another way to get punished for not fulfilling it. For example, I don't know, Bitul Torah and these things, this is very tough.
Yes.
Especially for men. So, I mean, we have more ways to praise Hashem and to serve Hashem, but at the same token, we have more possibilities to get punished because of not fulfilling them. So, would it be okay for a woman to think about this when making this blessing, perhaps?
So, in less ways to get punished, you see, women absolved from a time-bound mitzvahs because they're very busy. They're very very busy in life, right? With running the household. So to say that she's going to fail less, no. Even if you're a woman, you can fail a lot, even though you're being a woman. So are there more opportunity for men to fail than a woman? I don't know. If she's not taking care of your house, not taking care of your husband and other children, so she can fail miserably, even more than him not learning. Because if what is it? we have this clip that is coming up soon, right? About a few women ask me like innocently, without like thinking back, like about going to after Shat Chala, right? Party, separating challah, right? And it's all women. Is it? It's nice. Yes, that's kosher. Yeah. So and I list 7 things. I'm not going to say what, but you're going to see. So I say if all of these things are satisfied, yeah, it's kosher. Otherwise, it's guess what? It's not kosher. You understand? Because women have different responsibilities, and they still all of the other laws apply to them. So I would not say that to today, like in our mind, we should not think about failures, but we have to like drive to the achievements, to fulfill wherever we like our goal, to achieve our goal. So for example, if somebody is a company man, like president of the company, so his mind should be in I don't know, in a global marketing, in new customers and stuff like that. But regular work, he has to concentrate on his report, whatever I have to do by the end of the week. He has no part in thinking about the global, what company should do the next year. He has to work on his part. So when everybody work on their part, that's when they succeed. President succeed in whatever he does, and I succeed whatever in what I do, right? I don't have to say, thanks God I'm not the president, because it's easier for a president to be fired than me, right? So I have been working for many years for one company, and we bought and sold, I don't know, 5 times, 6 times, I don't know, I lost count, and there were many presidents. So people like me, I'm like a small guy, just doing my work. Nobody touched me, right? But this president, they would change it sometimes few almost every year. Every year, 2 years, 3 years, they would change the president. You understand? So we must concentrate on our goal, and don't think about the failure or others, especially others, right? Because Hashem provides us tools to fulfill our role in this world, my specific role in this specific time. That's it. That's our goal, right? So we cannot compare ourselves to other people. That's the point. Okay, what else?
Thank you. So the next question goes. Thank you, Rabbi, for the answers. Are we allowed to use hand sanitizer on Shabbos?
Hand sanitizer, there is no problem whatsoever. No problem. Same. I would say, well, what is the problem with liquid soap? There is no problem. So I just want to remind us. So in olden days, the people would do this liquid soap by themselves, manually, right? So they cut the soap in pieces and dissolve in hot water. That's like soap for Shabbos. So all other during the week we would use bar soap. Right? So liquid soap is a modern invention. I'm not sure when they invented. I don't want to say, maybe 20 years ago, 20 years. I mean, it depends where you live, but more or less modern. So there is no problem to use this soap to cleanse, to clean your hands. No problem whatsoever.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Yes. So the only problem to use would be a cream, some kind of cream. Right. So that's what the problem. But soap, no problem. Or soap or this sanitizer. You're welcome.
So, does that depend on the thickness of the product? Because there are some that are more liquidish, and yes. I've seen some that are very thick.
Soaps?
Kind of
Soaps?
No, the sanitizers. Some of them.
I mean, they're not so thick. I don't think so. So okay, so the definition of liquid, something that is you can pour, right? Even if it's you can pour, but it's very slow movement, it's still liquid. But there are some creams, for example, that would be forbidden biblically, right? So these creams that more liquidish, for example, like the baby cream. So the baby cream, it's very liquidish. So there is no problem. Baby oil, no problem whatsoever to use on Shabbos, right? But there are some creams, so like it would be forbidden biblically. Right? They're so thick, like you put your finger and remove it, and this image is going to stay for, I don't know, 10 years. It's not going to move. It's so thick. So those are forbidden biblically for using. But more liquidish is forbidden rabbinically. But liquid, like this free-flowing, that's there is no problem. Of course, to use for a baby. So, but since it is smoothing, if you apply to the hand, it's for the smoothing. That's the issue. You're not allowed to smooth things on Shabbos. But for a baby, since baby until they say depends, like healthy baby until 3 or 5 years old, they consider to be in a category of a sick person whose life is in danger. And right, so like if necessary, you can do many things for the baby, right? But because if we have a rash, okay, we have a rash, we can survive. But for this baby, it's like very, very dangerous to have this rash. So we are allowed to do many things for them. Of course, we try to minimize, but the idea, so you can give the medicine whatever they need to. Like for us, you have to feel very bad, not just uncomfortable, very bad, and so you would be allowed to take medicine. For baby, like they have a little cold, you give them medicine. There is no problem. Or for elderly people, in the same category. Okay, what else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
There's more questions, but I have a doubt in regards to this issue of the liquids. And
okay, go ahead.
what about neosporin for an infected wound? Is it liquidish enough?
No, it's not liquidish. That's 100% cream. So would be, so if there is a dangerous infection, right? So like dangerous. So I mean, and so somebody has to change the dressing. So they say do it indirectly. So the smoothing comes in two parts, two steps. One is to apply, and the second step is smooth, right? So you put cream and you can, and then you smooth out, right? So but if you do only one step, so it's one step removed, right? So it's not incomplete job. So only in the case of necessity, like it says, it's like serious wound, chas v'shalom. So you just put whatever this aspirin, and then put something and press. Or just start putting bandages. So basically, it's going to smear out by itself without you doing anything. So this melacha technically is not complete. So, but only again if in case it's necessity. Okay. Yes, good, very, very good question. But that's an example that it would be forbidden biblically. They say it's so thick, dense. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So the next question goes, Shalom Kol, question about weekly parasha. Given Hagar is an Egyptian princess from where is infamous of immorality, presumably someone like this would be the last person a wife wants in her house. Why would Sarah send her to Avraham?
So it's very, very, very good question. So first of all, I have to understand. So she was Avraham was forced to take her. It's not like he that's his best choice. He would take somebody from his personal students, right, to be a servant. So I'm sure that they stood in line to apply for this job, even they volunteered to live in such a holy house, right? But he was forced. He was a prince, and then Pharaoh said to his daughter, "It's better for you to be a servant in Avraham's house than princess in mine." I guess because he had many of these daughters and sons, right? So he sent her to with Avraham. So Avraham had no choice to accept her. And when she lived in this holiness, so it's as we said many times before, your surrounding affects us. So she became very righteous, living in Abraham's house. Then, as we know in story, just they jump a little ahead. She went out from his house, right, and went back to Egypt, and she became same as people there. But then, when she came back, so she was actually righteous. She became Keturah, right? So that's this base of righteousness was molded in Abraham's house, so there was no problem. So I guess because everybody's were behaving with holiness in his house, it was normal. She just followed the suit. For example, Rasha explains that she was not surprised when the angel was start talking to her, right? When she was by the well. If angels start talking to me, or when angels start talking to Shmuel, right, he did not know this and that, right, or to other people, Moshe Rabbeinu, but for her it was normal. She started conversing with the angels. Why? Because there was normalcy of life in Abraham's house when the angel come and talk to them. So she was, we understand that she was on such a level, right, that angels would address him. Okay, so that's the answer.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. Nice.
So in regards to this topic, I was wondering, because the Rav mentioned some time ago that Ishmael did Tshuva eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, did he have children before doing Tshuva or after doing Tshuva? Or throughout the whole time he was having children constantly? Because his descendants is very wicked, and when a person does Tshuva, this kind of changes the person spiritually, and his descendants is bound to change as well. I mean, his imprint on his offspring has to change. So I was wondering.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good question. I'm not sure about the timeline when he was 45. Could he have children after he did Tshuva? I think yes, could be. So he had I don't know if for sure he had many children before he did Tshuva and after, but just because he was they did Tshuva does not mean that first were elderly people, elderly children, older, not elder, all the children did Tshuva, and we see it. We're actually trying to help people every day when they're trying to do Tshuva, and children are not receptive. They go in against, or they against, or they not agree, and they do something on purpose. And if your family is trying to keep kosher, and this children, she's 20 years old, he's 25 years old, living with his mother, and he started doing even though she told him, they told her, and they basically disregard the rules. You understand? So just because that parents did Teshuvah and they are holy now, and does not mean that the children follow suit. You understand? So, and even if it's a new children, okay, it's separate souls. They have a choice. Of course, they have a spiritual DNA to go to right track, but they have a freedom of choice. They can do whatever they want. You understand? There is no guarantee. So usually it's there is a pattern that if somebody is a giant in Torah, usually his children not. Usually, like if they someday, of course, they're not never on the same level, but many times it's like nothing special at all. Children of the giants. So of course there are many exceptions. Rabbi Moshe Feinstein. I mean that's also. I mean he was a giant. His children are also great people, but not on his level, not even close. You understand? Even though they're great. Rav Shmuel. What is it? Shmuel, I forgot. What was his last name? And others, right? So this, but many holy rabbis did like to their children nothing special, right? Or opposite. So one of the daughters of Chafetz Chaim was absolutely secular, I think, if I remember correctly. So just she went to opposite direction, became Zionist or something, if I remember correctly. Fortunately. Holy Chafetz Chaim, like if you ever saw the angel of in your life, so you saw Chafetz Chaim, right? So meaning that people have their own freedom of choice. Or she was a granddaughter, I don't remember.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So our friends are still typing their questions. Okay, we have a question. It says, Shalom Kavod Rav, thank you for the Shiur. Question. In Parashat Noah, chapter 11, verse 26, it speaks about the birth of Avraham. And the commentary elaborates that in a real sense, creation was only now beginning, for it was Abraham who would bear the burden of holiness in the world. His name signified this. At first, he was Avraham without the hay, and a contraction of father, for example, teacher, of Aram, father of Aram. For he began as a leader of his own nation, but ultimately, he became a father to the whole world. My question is, when Noahide prayed the Akedah, do they also benefit from this source of heavenly mercy, or do they have to wait until they complete the conversion?
No, they pray for heavenly mercy. So okay, so in what survey? I had this question last like many years ago, and people got confused. So they say like 17 nations came from Avraham. 17 nations did not come from Avraham. Avraham came from Shem, right? It's only one of the sons. So altogether 17 nations. So our sages explain. So that's I'm not sure why is it confusion, but okay, right? So our sages explains that Avraham is the father of all people who are trying to find true Hashem. You understand? So it's like he was the one who started this teaching the monotheism, and he's the father, and Sarah is a mother. So that's like in spiritual sense when somebody is doing teshuva, non-Jew, and then he's of course he has the merit of Abraham, absolutely, 100%. That's the explanation. Not the 70 nations came from him. Only the righteous people. They connected like as it says that he came from Haram with all of these souls that he made, right? And the famous Gemara says, well, what is he made? Maybe he bought some slaves. Maybe like people who came with him. No, it says made, meaning what? Because he taught them. About living God, right? He made them religious, made them balchuva. It's like he gave them birth, right? So that's so it's like Abraham gave birth to all these people, Okay. So of course, if you're a righteous person, you can always ask for his protection, his help, absolutely.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. What else?
I have another question, but I don't know if someone else has perhaps a question too.
No, they're going to say, okay, go ahead then. What is your question?
Thank you, Rabbi. My question is about putting fences.
Mm-hmm.
Should we have to be very thoughtful before we put a fence upon something we feel we're gonna eventually fall on, or our old fence is good? Because, for example, just to put my question in context,
Mm-hmm.
I had to delete all my accounts from social media because I would be losing too much time on them. But on the same token, I've been, all this time losing the opportunity to do kiruv, to do outreach with this kiruv, and because I have no other way to do so. So if one applies this sort of scenario to different situations, that's what I mean. So perhaps sometimes the fence would be too high, or our old fence is like beneficial when we have the intention of not falling into certain sins.
Mm-hmm. So that's a very good question. So about the social media, so it's actually if it's your personal account, you can lose more than you gain, basically. So if for example, if a person started doing Teshuvah, and he has all the 500 friends from his old life, right? That when they went I don't know, to the beach together, so they're not interested in Teshuvah. They're not interested to listen from you. Like you, I'm not talking about you, but in general, from that person now, oh, you're such a tzaddik, you're such a righteous person. I remember like we did this and that, so they're not going to listen to him. So and plus they ask and I don't know, it's such a simple trap to fall into, and I want people, and I don't like sometimes I think that people don't have any brain. So I told them, I say everyone, don't go there. Don't go there. So there is your family, your old friends, and you think you're going to tell them about Parsha, about disproof, and about renewal of the moon, and about like all of the miracles that Hashem said. They're not going to listen to you. Guess what? Or they're going to listen to you for 5 minutes, and the rest of 2 hours you're going to listen to whatever they have to say. Understand that people fall into the trap and they go down in the sorrows of Hashem. You understand? So if it's better to help the existing organization. So as we have Beezrat Hashem, it's all organized. So just ask what you can do. There are many opportunities to help, right? But the personal thing, again, if they knew you differently, they're not going to listen. Okay. Or if you know an individuals just send them and that's it. Right? Send them and run. So don't read whatever they send you back. So that's another thing, right? So I was trying to help some missionary. She was an aunt of my student, and he begged me because she was like very sick, dying, and maybe she in Israel, right? And maybe she would do Teshuvah. So I was trying, I promised him. So I was trying to help, but whatever she said about all this, I don't know. Like when maybe they have like a template or something that they would send, like such a long exchanges. I would just delete them. Right? I read once. It was like tuma, so I would delete them and I would continue sending you back. But that it was too much. I saw it's not working. I just block you. It's too much. So just to look at the message on Yoshka this, Yoshka that. So it was too much. So it's like not everybody we're able to help. So like sometimes at one point of our life we have to acknowledge I cannot help everybody, even if I'm very spiritual, even if I'm very knowledgeable. But we have to remember there is the other side, and it's not receptive. They do not care what you say. So going back to the fences. Your obligation to save yourself first of all. Then others, okay, so do it in a very safe way from the far, right? So no personal contact. That's the way.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
It's like when, let's say we're like in a boat, but instead of jumping onto the water to save people, we just throw lifesavers instead of jumping ourselves.
Yes. So whoever want to swim, they can swim. Whoever cannot swim, so I mean, many today people are so into themselves, and everybody think that they're right, their way is right, this and that. So I mean, they're not able. They don't have any desire to hear you out. You understand? So our channel, different channel, is like very up, like Baruch Hashem. But most of the people who leave commentary in negative commentary, like making fun, like insult us, this that. But only few, of course. I mean, many people don't leave any commentary, so we don't impact of what we do many times. But comparing commentary like positive to negative, but I guess I would count like positive to the commentary base. So I would say like 90% is negative. That is so bad. You understand? But compare if you count as a commentator somebody who is signed up, so yes, the positive is more. But they do not talk. So basically we need like interpersonal communication. You understand? So we have to stay away from all of these dangers. So because people especially these people who are like missionary mind, so they would ask you a question. What do you think about it? Please tell me more about religion. So, and I would send, I have a template and send them more. No, this Muslim guy, right? So he said, he said, I was expecting a more personalized like answer. I said, we have the same answer for everybody for the past 3,330 years. Stop it. Understand? If you're interested in truth, here's the truth. If you're not. So that I'm not going to speak with him, not going to explain him anything. You understand?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Actually asked this question because I'm seriously thinking of getting rid of my phone. I want this like one of these dumb phones instead, this flip phones or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because mainly because of the current situation, Israel or whatever, I'm getting very much into these things and this new. I know this is it's not positive. This is not good, of course, that I delve into these things, but sometimes it's like I can't avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know my Yetzirah is very relentless in regards to these things. So I don't know if like getting rid of my phone would be too much because I use it for other things. I use it for especially to listen to Shiurim when I'm doing something else, like driving or doing dishes.
Yes.
So that's kind of the deal in regards to my question. Would it be too much to get rid of my phone,
that's too much. So to put yourself filters, so to for example, if when I got my phone, the smartphone, I had this news icon, or stocks, or health, or all of this garbage. I mean, like all of the free garbage. So I delete them completely. You understand? So I delete completely maybe after a few days. So I had these pop-ups. This happened, that happened, like too much. So I just delete them. You understand? And remember, every time have a pop-up for you. So you must learn Torah now. Like maybe every hour, program every hour. You must learn Torah. Did you learn enough Torah today? So like something like that for yourself to remind. And but to get rid of this smartphone, I have few people trying to do that. I mean, it's very challenging. I mean, today like a proper communication actually require this phone, and unless somebody is in yeshiva, and that's it. Like, so I had one of the students in yeshiva, and he was calling me from phones, and it's very interesting. Like somehow there's the whole system. It's like internet phone, whatever it means. So it always like it's always like in the caller ID it's the different number. So I don't know, it's him or the marketing, like telemarketing. I had no idea. So, but I mean it worked, but only when he can call only when he can, and many times in a day I could not answer. So it was very annoying. So, and I could not call him back because he decided like he does not need the phone, and now I have to like dance according to his music instead of just exchanges the voice notes whenever we have time. Understand? So it's complicate, like overcomplicate life, right? Plus you can use it for Torah. Use it for Torah.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. It's a very good question.
Sorry
Yes. So again, so everybody have to decide for themselves about the fences. So if you know like you practice that you failed 3 times in this area, so you have to be serious with yourself. Whatever fences you did, it's not high enough. You understand? So you have to be more serious. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So sorry to our friends that I got long-winded a little bit with this question, because we have another couple questions on the board.
Okay. Go ahead.
So the next one says, Shalom Kolorab, how long should be the distance between husband and wife when they're outside? The scene would be in the diaspora, in a place or a neighborhood where people are very anti-Semitic and ignorant about Judaism or Yehud laws. And if the couple keep the distance that Allah teaches, it could be causing Hilul Hashem, since this goyim, idolaters people would think the couple is or are Muslims instead. Instead they're fulfilling a mitzvah. Thank you very much. Torah.
Okay. So the distance is just not to touch, right? So when a person walks with his wife in public, so he should be a little in front and she should be a little behind. That's it. So he cannot follow his wife. He should be a little behind. It's like whatever distance, whatever comfortable. Right, but of course, very comfortable, but not without touching. So many minutes, and somebody like stops suddenly, the another person is not going to bump into him or her. That's the thing. So, but whatever other people think, they would think whatever they would make up. Right, but it's normal. So not everybody have to hold hands like all the secular people hold hands or hug each other on the street. No.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. So it's not the Yichud issue, it's actually modesty issue. It's not Yichud. Yichud is something else.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So the next question goes, Shalom Kolorab, I have a question. I think I heard that non-Jews don't get a reward for studying Torah because it's not a mitzvah for them. If I heard correctly, should it then be that if a Noahide studies Torah, he should declare, for example, that the merit of these words should be given to Am Israel, or would this not work?
No, actually, the non-Jews are allowed to study some parts of the Torah because without studying the Torah, how they can perform in this life. So, of course, it's like in order to be a righteous non-Jew, you have to know what to do. So, all of the Musar classes, of course, apply to them. All of the Noahide laws apply to them. All of they know Tanakh, they must know Tanakh, also applies to them. So, of course, they get reward for that. Absolutely, 100%. studying of something that is forbidden, they they get opposite of the reward. And when we said that, I had this clip that Shabbos was given to Jews only, and it was in treasury of Hashem, and it's a gift to his bride, right? Because Jewish nation is his bride, so people went crazy about this bride thing, and gift. So I said, whoever is still from the king of the kings, from his bride, the gift. What do you think the king is going to say? He's going to be very happy? No, he's not going to be very happy. So, and non-Jews deserve the death penalty for keeping Shabbos, right? So people did not like it very much, Baruch Hashem. But other liked it. But again, so we're going to this idea. We're not about liking. We're not here to be liked. We're here to spread the word of Hashem. Right. That's the definition. Also, just say if everybody likes this rabbi, he's not good. He's just this flatterer, right? If everybody hates this rabbi, that's also there's something wrong with him. He cannot. But if somebody likes him, somebody hates him. That's normal. It means that he does his job. You understand? Of course, it depends who likes him and who hates him, but at least he's maybe not a hypocrite, at least. Okay. Okay, what else?
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
I don't see more questions on the board anymore. I guess no, there's no more.
Okay.
May I ask one last question?
Yeah, go ahead. Last question.
Some time ago, I heard Rabbi mention that a person that is going through conversion may have a bunch of, I don't know if he said kitrugim or mekatakim on top of him, looking after him constantly. But I was wondering, why is that? Is it because the person is doing things that he's not allowed? Like studying things he's not allowed, or?
No, we have to see here in context why exactly he said so. I mean, it's not easy, because it's when you're trying to go to the higher spiritual level, it's always going to be a test. You understand? Just to pass any exam, it's a test. You have to be ready. So, and for Jew or non-Jew, so it's not supposed to be easy. If it's too easy, there is something wrong. In like if we would have nothing like would stop us. So I mean, like some challenges. If there are no challenges and everybody is saying yes to you and everybody just applaud you, or thumbs up, like there is something wrong. It means that Satan is running the show. But if you have all of this obstacle in your life and it's failing, like I was working on this project for 5 months and I was always like, it's almost done. And today this email, it's not so much done. It's another failure, or whatever. It's like at least delay. So you have to like try to fix it. But because I know it's very big mitzvah, it's very holy things, whatever we're trying to do. So of course there is a little disappointed, but that's normal. So if it would be everything would be smooth, I would be very cautious. Something is wrong. Yeah, understand? That's our way. So when a person who wants to purify himself, and before he or she was the best or one of the soldiers of Satan or Hagar, and now that person wants to be holy and one of the soldiers of Hashem, that's he does not like it. Like when somebody is trying to steal employees, right? So I remember, like in my company where I work, when somebody is would declare I'm going to another company, and so the boss, like president or somebody would call them to office and try to give him better offer, like why are you leaving, this and that. So, and some people would stay, and later on they would kicked out, all of them. like all of that, or they would put them like under pressure. If they give them more money, like you cheap whatever, they give them more money, they're going to create like a very bad job environment, right? So but people, so it was like a rule. So if you decided to leave the company, just go. Even they offer you double here, go, because it's only a matter of time. They will take they're going to avenge their honor. Like how come you were like you want to leave us? You understand? So that's same as in our situation. You want to go like from this side to that side. That side is going to offer you a lot of incentives to stay, right, and a lot of obstacles for you not to go to the side of holiness, to the side of Hashem. That's normal, but we always have to like have it on the top of the mind. That's just what was going on. Like in my project that today, like when I heard this happen, of course I got upset for 3 minutes, but then I read the whole email. I said, okay, maybe that's not bad, not that bad. It's not complete failure. It's just delayed, this and that. So we have to like start again, even stronger. You understand? That's normal. So if you have this approach in life, these disappointments are not going to bother you so much. It's opposite. It would be like an encouragement that you go into the right direction. Okay. What else? Okay. I guess let's stop here. How many things to do? Yes. So please join us tonight. Thank you very much for your questions, for learning with us. And tomorrow we're going to learn Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, same time. Thank you and good night.
Thank you. Good night.